Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Good to have you here as always. So tonight, I'm talking tattoos. Yeah, Nazi tattoos or Hammerskin tattoos. Yep. All the tattoos like that, or the questionable ones that are on me. Yeah, my tattoos. I'm going to give you a little tattoo tour of my tattoos from my years when I was a Hammerskin and when I was involved in that movement. Because of course I had a few. You know, I get tattooed all the time. I still get tattooed nowadays, and I definitely did back then. It was kind of part of that, you know, I had to show my allegiance to the cause, and so yeah, I did get some tattoos. I have had most of them covered, changed, or dated, and I'm going to share all of that about them tonight, and I'm going to share a few little stories about when I actually got these done. So let's get into it. Grab your machines, grab your inks, you know, lean back in that chair, grab yourself your coffee or your popcorn or whatever, and let's talk tattoos. Oh, and as always, hey, if you want to support me and support the channel, many different ways you can do it, but buying me a coffee is one of the best ways you can keep me going. So, cheers for that. All the links are in the description below. So yeah, tattoos. I've obviously, as I said, I've got a lot of them, and I get asked a lot about my tattoos, especially on this channel now. People have seen a few of my tattoos and said, oh, look, that's a bit questionable. Especially this one here. I get asked about this one the most because I guess it's, you know, really visible, and people instantly think, oh, that's a Nazi tattoo. Well, yeah, that actually was. That was my original intention for getting it, and many others. And so let's get into it. Let's talk about my tattoos, starting with this one. Now, this one originally was the Othala rune, or the Odins Rune. When I first got into the movement, you know, I wasn't really throwing myself into it in a big way, but I did want to show my support. So this was my first, you know, tattoo that kind of, you know, showed that, hey, I'm an NS skinhead, blah, blah, blah. And it was the Odal rune, but originally I had 88 done in the center of it, just in red. So it was just the Odal rune with 88 in it. And if you know what 88 means, yeah, well, So I had to have it changed because I was going to Germany in 2006, and the number 88 is illegal. The Odin's Rune wasn't banned at that time. I believe it is now, but just to be safe. Now, originally I was going to put a Tia rune through here, and it was supposed to turn it into the Fire and Life rune, according to modern wicking websites and all that kind of stuff. Well, that, hey, that's cool. But for some reason, the guy who did it just ended up doing the straight line and doing the flames. That's what I was left with. My Odal rune has pretty much unchanged. I will eventually do the top points to the Tia rune and get that changed up, but for now, it's fine. But yes, it was original intention was because I was a Hitler-loving Nazi back then. So the next tattoo I actually got after that was a Sunwell Swastika, which was right here. Now, there's actually a video that you can go check out here, which shows me getting this covered up. Now, originally I got on Swastika, and that was it by itself, and I was like, I loved it. I loved where it was. It looked pretty cool. So then I added the flames with the negative Tia rune inside of it. It's pretty faded now, so it's a bit hard to make out. But I was like, yeah, man, I'm all about it. You know, I want to get this, you know, Tia rune and flames and everything. And I got that done, and oh, man, painful tattoo. Really excruciatingly painful. Especially when it was my wife doing it, and she, as you all know, she absolutely hated everything to do with the movement. So doing this tattoo for me wasn't much fun for her. She did the Sunwell Swastika originally too, under protest. But I had that one done, and it was actually instant regret when I jumped up and saw it and went, ugh, I actually don't like the way that looks. But it was like, yeah, cool, you know, this is me being part of this, or getting this tattoo, you know, it makes me look tough, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so that one was done, and yeah, it really looked bold, and, you know, you can see in this photo, really stood out. And since then, I have actually had, you know, everything changed, as you see in the video, but I also actually had a laser removal session done on the whole thing before I had it covered. The laser removal was extremely painful, but After that, I decided, nah, like I'll just let it fade. I really don't care. I had plans to cover up this later on, but now I don't care, so it can stay the way it is now forever. Alrighty, so coming after that on my tattoo tour was actually just a little Totenkopf skull on my thumb. There's an SS Totenkopf, the death's head. I had that done by a really good friend who I worked with at the time, and we were sitting there talking while he was tattooing me, and he's like, man, he said, like, this is really cool. Like, I like doing this one, but I'd never do a Nazi tattoo on you. I was like, bro, you're doing a Nazi tattoo on me right now? And he's like, what? No, it's just a skull in it. I'm like, no, this is the SS Death's Head. This is a Nazi tattoo. He's like, you motherfucker. He said, if I had known, I wouldn't have done this for you. I'm like, just relax. I mean, he was Filipino, so, but still, did a great job with the tattoo. Single needle, really rocked it, really precise. Really happy with that tattoo. So then I got my 9% tattoo. Now there's one on the back of my arm. Now it's been blacked out now, but originally where the black was, it had a black 9%. Now if you don't know what 9% means, it means that 9% of the world's population is white. This was some statistic that came out apparently years ago, and so 9% just means that you're a racially aware white man. Yeah, and they put it in the diamond because of their similarities to the 1%. They're always trying to rip the 1%ers and the MC off. And so, yeah, I got this 9% diamond done. And, it was cool until I ran into some Mongols in Idaho. And one of them questioned me about it. He said, hey, man, what's 9% mean? And my wife jumped in and turned around and said, oh, it's a white thing. And he went, oh, yeah, cool, man. Yeah, I get you. I'm sitting there freaking the fuck out. I'm like, yeah, I told him the explanation. He's like, yeah, cool, man, I get it. Hey, where you guys from? And we're from New Zealand. Accent saved my ass that day, I'm pretty sure, because I'm sure a lot of the other Mongols that were present weren't white and probably wouldn't have appreciated my tattoo as much. So, yeah, that's why much later I had it just blacked out. Didn't want any association or anything like that. That tattoo is in the process of being blasted over as well. It's going to be blacked out, completely gone, because I don't even want the diamond there anymore. And then some of my actual favourite tattoos that I got done. My knuckles, yeah, Hatecore. I got these done at Surf and Ink Tattoo Convention on the Gold Coast. One of my really good friends from Germany was over tattooing, so shout out to Volder. Not a skinhead, not part of the movement. Just a great guy and a great tattooist, and I hung out with him and his friend Shard for the weekend. They came and tattooed there, had a great time, and Volder did my knuckles for me. I was a huge Hatecore fan, and I wanted Hatecore done. We were joking around, we were going to do Huskcore and stuff like that, but he ended up doing Hatecore for me, and that hurt. That really fucking hurt, man. Like, he just dug that shit in there. That's why it's so dark and it's so solid. That single pass, man, he blasted my knuckles, and I was sitting there at the convention the whole time going, yeah, no, this doesn't hurt at all. People walking past me, and I'm trying to be the big tough, skinhead gangster and not show pain. Meanwhile, I'm going, what fucking hurts, man. So, yeah, great experience. But then that same weekend, next tattoo, this one, my skull with the Stahlhelm. That I really, really, really wanted this tattoo. My buddy Volder, his skulls were phenomenal. So he sketched this out for me, tattooed it on. And actually on the side decal in the little shield is the number 38. I got this done when I was a prospect. I wasn't allowed to get, the cog or the hammers or anything. So I got 38, it's the crossed hammers. I was allowed to get that apparently. I had to call one of the senior brothers to make sure that it was okay that I got 38 tattooed. Thumbs up, so yeah. But that was a great experience. I tattooed Volder and Sjard that weekend as well. We had a great time hanging out, so those ones actually have some pretty good memories attached to them. And then much later on, I turned the H into an M, so it's Matecore, This one I'm keeping just because it's all, kind of faded, and, it's just a skull wearing a helmet. So, my most important tattoo of that time, well, to me it was my most important tattoo. It was one I'd been waiting for a couple of years. Now, of course, my hammers, my crossed hammers, my Hammerskin patch. We're allowed to get our patch tattooed pretty much the day that we got our patch. And a lot of clubs, you're not allowed to do that. Yeah, MCs, I'm pretty sure many of them don't allow you to do that. I know Mongrel Mob, you can't get your patch done on your back until you've done so many years, but you can get it done on your face. But that was cool. The day after we got our patches, we had already planned it. All three of us were getting our patches tattooed. I was going to tattoo one of my brothers who owned a tattoo shop. And I did. I tattooed his patch on him. And then we went out to one of the other brothers who had a tattoo shop. And he tattooed myself and the other hammer. We all got our hammers that day. And I was stoked. I fucking absolutely stoked to be getting my hammers. Yeah, I'd saved a place on the back of my arm, you know, so people could see it when they're, you know, walking behind me kind of deal. And then, of course, later on, I had it dated, you know, because I didn't want to go to the lengths of covering it up or anything like that at that time. So, because I left on good standing, which I did, as far as I'm concerned, I left on good standing. Now, I could have my tattoo dated, so I have the dates in there now with the dates I joined and the dates I left. They are around the 9%, and it's because the guy who blacked it out and did the dates for me put the dates around the 9% instead of the hammers, like I actually asked him to. So then he ended up putting the dates inside the hammers. Yeah, it was a bit of a mess up on his part, but hey, never mind. It's all going to be blasted over very, very shortly as a part of, you know, completing the sleeve. It's all going to be gone, so, you know, erased into history. Yeah. So I've saved the biggest and the best for last, which is actually my back tattoo. Yeah, this one here. That's right, SS Reich Eagle. Now, originally it had the swastika in it. Now, I had this done in a couple of stages. You know, it took a while to do this tattoo. And the original idea was to have the SS Eagle, and I was going to have the nation shield beneath it. And I was going to have the Rice Creek flag off to one side and the SS flag down the other side. And I was going to have a banner on the bottom of it saying, "Meine Herr Eisbauer," just my honour is my loyalty, which is the SS motto. Yeah, that was my plans originally for the back piece. Glad I didn't go through with that. So much later on, you know, because I didn't want the swastika being out in public, I had it covered. Now, as you can see it now, it's actually a gemstone. The idea for the cover-up and to change it, I'm going to have a nice purple gemstone over the top of it. Going to have some roses around the eagle and, you know, completely change the eagle up so it kind of looks a bit prettier when I take my shirt off and go swimming, you know. That was my back tattoo, my biggest tattoo, and yeah, it could have been a lot bigger, it could have been a lot worse. You know, glad I didn't, because, yeah, covering that up be an absolute nightmare. Alright, so there you have it, guys and girls. That's my tattoos, my questionable tattoos from that time, my Hammerskin tattoos and my Nazi tattoos and blah, 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 all that good stuff. Now, like I said, you know, most of them have been changed, dated, covered, or whatever, and I'll continue to do that. They are a permanent reminder of my life at that time. So for that reason, I have kept a couple of them, you know, and of course, you know, I don't want to go through all that pain and money just to cover a lot of them up. You know, nowadays my tattoos are more, you know, about my life and about my journey, and, you know, I like to do more colourful stuff. That's what, you know, my arm is becoming now. More, you know, new school colour and away from all the hatred and all the angry stuff, because that just doesn't represent me anymore. So there you go, there's a little tour, and I will do a tour of my other tattoos later on down the line if there's enough interest in it. If you guys want to see that, see all my new stuff that I've been getting over the last couple of years, let me know. And hey, thanks so much for tuning in for another day. Love having you here, much appreciated. And I will see you on Sunday for another awesome video, as always. And hey, if you're new here and you want to support me, support the channel, and you want to know how to do it, there's many different ways. Buy me a coffee, you can buy my merchandise. There's Patreon, membership on this channel, super likes, many, many different ways. All the links are in the description below. But as always, if you just give this video a big like, subscribe down below if you haven't already, and hit the little bell to get notified, and make sure you hit the little thing that says all on your notifications, and you'll be seeing new videos from me every week. Thanks so much for tuning in, much appreciate you being here as always. Stay safe, peace out, love and light to you, and go get tattooed.